Okay, now we are fine. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So the particular question here is that how do we understand the Linux file system directory structure or Linux file system hierarchy, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that the question? Okay, so first of all, let us log into this particular structure. Like, let us log into this server. So guys, just for better understanding, I have not created any new machine. The same machine which we were utilizing yesterday, the same machine I have kept here. Why these errors are coming, or you can call that why these warnings are coming? Because if you remember, every time the IP address of this machine is changing and key remains same, right?
Yes, sir.
That is why it is saying that multiple keys are stored within this particular file for the same host. So we need not to worry because we understand this particular thing very clearly that we are stopping this machine on every day after this particular class, and we start utilizing the same machine once again the very next day. In AWS, there is a particular system that if you are going to stop your machine and you will start it again, then the IP address will get changed until and unless you are going to assign some static IP address to your machine. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what? The original question was, what was your question? Can you repeat that again now?
Yes, sir. How can we know the location of the files or directories? How can we identify which was located in the directory like /etc /dev /temp? And we download something where it will be stored in the directory.
Okay, I got your question now. So before understanding or before moving forward onto these particular tools and technology, right? We need to understand that how many overall files and directories are there. So everything begins with this particular word known as root, or you can call it slash, right? Okay, so what happens here? Let me tell you something. So there are three roots, first of all, we need to understand. First of all, there is a word known as root, as you can see that here as well. Do you see that here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is a username. This is a super user in Linux operating system known as root. Second root will be like slash root. What is this? This slash root is going to be this root users, this super admin users home directory. Now, third thing when we talk about, this is known as slash. This is known as root. Now, this is a mount point. Mount point means everything begins with this particular symbol, this particular icon, this particular point. This is known as root partition. So there are three roots which we need to understand. One is a username. Second one is home directory for that user. And third one is a mount point. Mount point in the sense you can easily understand that as we have C drive in Linux operating system. Sorry, in Windows, we have C drive, we have D drive, we have E drive, and multiple drives. Right? Okay. What next? Now, if I need to show you something here, so I hope that we all are aware of the head command now. Head -n1, like I want to read only one line from etc passwd file. So if you see here, there are two roots written. First of all, this is root, this is username, this is command for user, and now this is home directory of the user, and this is shell. So two roots are clear. Now the third root here is I want to go here. PWD, like print working directory. What is my working directory right now?
Root.
Root. Okay. If I run a command ll here, then what will you see? AFS bin, boot, dev, EFI, etc, home, lib, and lib64. Then after media, then MNT, OPT, proc, root, run, sbin, srv, sys, temp, usr, and war. These are the directories available in Linux operating system. Now, what do we do with these directories? First of all, let us try to understand that what is the use of this directory. Otherwise, obviously, we shall not be able to identify any of these. So first of all, let us log into AFS. This is an empty directory. As and when you want, you can remove it because this is an unwanted directory created within this operating system. Someone might have created at the time of OS installation or maybe before creation of this template. If you see, this is a particular predefined template which we have utilized in order to boot this operating system, right? But if you see, we have yet not created any kind of file or directories inside it. How do you find that here? Okay, so first of all, let us do one thing. Let us remove it. rm-rf-afs. This is of no use. Now let us talk about /bin. So guys, if you see bin here, bin is a symbolic link because right now we have very good understanding of Linux file system type and other things, right? So what does that mean? It is a symbolic link of /usr/bin. So when we will discuss about this particular folder or this particular directory, then definitely we will try to cover this bin as well. But right now, if you need to go here and you need to check something, you will get to know all the executable commands. Like whatever commands are executable by a normal user, right? So those commands are found here. Let us say, what are the commands we run? ls command we run. If you remember, just before some time we executed the command pwd. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Moreover, there is a command known as rm. Remember that command is also available here.
Sir.
So whatever command, and one more command, we executed a command known as head. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
That command is also available here. So /bin is a particular location where all the executable files, these commands can be executed by a normal user or by super admin as well. So /bin, it means binary is a particular location which is utilized in order to identify the files available which are executable and which are known as command. Are we clear with that? Any question?
Sir, can we edit /bin directory, sir?
So ideally we should not. And why is that so? Because see, if we are going to edit any of the files, so these are the binary files. Let us say there's a particular command known as zcat. I don't know what it is going to do for now.
Sir, I have a question.
Wait. Let us say I have a particular file known as /bin/zcat and I want to read this particular file. So it is going to print some information here, right? So what if I'm going to modify this? So this is going to perform some operation, like this is the version of it and like how it is going to work. So these sort of informations are written here. So exec, like whenever we are going to execute like zcat command, what it is going to do? gzip -cd $ and @. These are some parameters which are going to be defined. So what exactly this command is doing? This is going to unzip the files. Right? So if we try to modify it, so let us say we are going to modify any file which is being utilized as a command. So that may not work as per expectation going forward because we are not the particular person who knows how to edit a binary file or how to enhance a particular utility of a command. Are we clear with that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So technically we can modify, but ideally we should not modify. Ayush, now your question.
Sir, pwd command we can use like a normal user as well as root user.
Yes.
But sir, they don't have like any super permission
Yes,
like as
this is why I'm saying, Ayush, all the particular commands which are available within this directory slash bin. So all the commands which are available here, let us say I'm going to like see the output in latch mode. Slowly we are going to see like AB, ADDR 2-line alias, and AR, ARC, AR ping, AS, audit to allow. Every individual command, what you can see here. Obviously, you may need some time to understand like what particular command, what is this command doing, what advantage, what is disadvantage of this command, what is the better command to understand, right? But definitely understand this, all the commands which are available within this particular directories slash bin, these commands can be utilized by a normal user as well as a super admin, right?
yes, sir.
So whatever command you want, you can execute that. Okay. Now the next folder here is slash boot. Sorry, slash cd slash boot. So there is a particular word known as kernel. I hope that we all are aware of it.
Yes, sir.
Linux kernel. It means the mind of the particular operating system, or you can call that heart of the operating system. Okay. Now what we need to like do with this? So guys, just try to understand that this is like system.map, and there is a particular word written here known as VM-Linux. So guys, VM-Linux is a particular name of the kernel given to this Linux OS. VM-Linux is the kernel's name.
Yes, sir.
Then after, you need to understand two more things like init ramfs. What is this? What is init ramfs?
Related to initialize the RAM of the.
Okay, any other one?
No idea, sir.
Sir, we take one AMI, sir. That AMI is RAM.
Okay. Okay, let me tell you. So init ramfs. What does that mean? Initial RAM file system. So this is a root file system that is embedded into the kernel and loaded at an early stage of the boot process. So going forward, you will get to know about init RD as well, initial RAM disk. So when we power on our system, so first of all, this init ramfs gets loaded into OS. Then after this invokes init RD, initial RAM disk. And once that is done, then grub initiates, and after that, your system will come into a like running state. Till the time your init ramfs or init RD is being loaded into RAM in order to start the system. Then once these are done, only after that, your system will start printing the logs and start writing things. Your OS will come into like read-write mode. Okay, and what is init RD?
Initialize RAM disk.
Okay, known as initial RAM disk. Now, what is it? It is a scheme for loading a temporary root file system into memory. And this is to be used as part of the Linux startup process. What does that mean? That whenever we are trying to boot a particular Linux operating system, so at the time of startup, we need to ensure that we have init ramfs available in order to make init RD successful. Then after, we need to ensure that we have init RD in order to make OS booting process successful. Okay. One more, there are some other subdirectories. Let us say if we go to loader, what is it? Entries. If we go here, so there are some file landing here. What does that mean? multiple F, then after the kernel version. This is the kernel version. And guys, one more command additionally, I'm going to tell you, like, if you need to check what is the kernel version running here, uname -r. This command you can utilize in order to identify the kernel version. The version here is 5.14.0. Right? EL9 means Enterprise Linux 9.
9.
Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
let us go back. Okay, now if we go to grub2, so if you see fonts and i386 PC and grub env, these are the particular files available here. So this is a binary file, right? So saved entries equal to this. So whatever entries are saved here within this particular file, these are going to be updated into that particular loader file. Remember, if we make any entry here within this grub env file, then these entries will get reflected into this particular file. Saved entry equal to this. Remember that file we were looking before some time only?
Yeah.
Last मेरे.
Okay, now if you want to see grub.cfg, what does that mean? So guys, we can make some modifications here in this particular file. What is this? Set timeout 0. Load env. Now select of the next boot entry via variable next entry. So if you have access to a physical system, let us say you want to troubleshoot your OS is not working properly. And for example, you want to boot that OS into rescue mode, or maybe you can call it emergency mode. So what you will do, you will intervene the Linux boot process at the time of startup. You will press maybe escape key, maybe F9, F12, based on the particular OS type, or based on the particular like hardware which you have. Then after you can boot your OS maybe with help of pen drive, with CD-ROM, with DVD, or whatever kind of infra you have. Moreover, no floppy search, set, root, FS, UUID, file system UUID is going to be this. So going forward, when we will talk about Linux file system type like category, at that moment, definitely guys, we will get to know that this particular user, this particular partition is mounted at /. We will get to know later on. Right now, what we are trying to understand here is we are not trying to understand the kernel functionality, but instead we are trying to understand the functionality of these particular files. Like, okay, if someone is going to ask you to go to /bin, what does that mean? That someone is trying to redirect you to some executable files. Bin is the location where all the executable commands are stored, which can be executed by a normal as well as admin user. Okay, now, if someone is going to ask you about boot, what will you answer?
To boot a system, all the settings are present inside the boot directory.
So yes, boot is a particular location, or you can call that directory, where all the information related to kernel, booting process, like kernel, like Linux kernel are required, or boot process information is stored in such as boot file. Like how and what kernel will be utilized. Let us say like our OS has more than one kernel, right? So in that case, that information will be read from here. Then after now /dev. Let us move on to here /dev.
Sir, what is floppy?
Pardon?
Floppy.
Okay, floppy is a kind of hard disk which was used very early stage when computers were really new to this world. So those days, people used to use floppy drives in order to copy or save some data. Okay, let me show you. So this type of disk used to come in order to store your data,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So although this particular directory we have already gone through at the time of when we were trying to read and understand about the different type of files and directories. So this particular, like that means devices, different type of devices, maybe block device, corrector device, and other devices are stored here within this particular directory. So for example, if you want to see like how many disks are associated here, there is a folder known as disk, right? Now you want to read these files by disk. So I am trying to read that particular file which is mounted in binary mode. But yes, if you want to see, because of that binary, some modification have been done within this particular font. So leave that about. I'll fix it later on. Don't worry. Okay. So when we are talking about /dev is clear, like all the
Yes,
devices
sir.
and its information is available inside /dev. After that, there is a folder known as EFI. The size is 0, but even though I would like to let you know, boot.efi and fbx64.efi. These two files are available read-only, only for user root. These are system files. Okay, one more thing, guys. So when we are talking about like we have couple of options available here, such as how many kernels are there? How do we identify that?
How many kernels?
Yes.
Nmap command.
No. What is EFI? Yes, guys, what is EFI?
Executable file information.
Actually, it is extensible firmware interface. Extensible firmware interface. So this is basically utilized in case of your physical devices. Okay, let's move ahead.
Physical device means the block device which we added to the system. Those are.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now let's talk about ETC. What is the meaning of ETC, guys?
Editable text configuration.
And what does it mean?
So we can edit any file, any configuration.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else, guys?
Sir, user related information, what we created user or something
Okay.
and other things.
Okay, so let me tell you what is ETC. EDT, obviously, as Ayush said, very correct. That ETC means editable text configuration. So whenever we install any operating system and post installation of it, so there are some default configuration files which are available in order to utilize that particular software in more effective way or in a customized way, you can call that. So whatever like configuration of that operating systems we are supposed to perform. So these are majorly find inside slash etc. if these are coming default with OS. In addition to that, there may be some application property files which can be stored at some different locations, right? But default softwares, whatever comes with operating system or the RPMs available on internet, so in most of cases, or you can say that in major cases, all the configuration files are found inside slash etc. Let us say I'm going to go inside slash etc. So whatever kind of like thing you see, let us say it is yum. So yum.conf is here, right? X8TTR.conf is here, vconsole.conf. Like all the configuration files are found here itself. See, these are the particular configurations which are found. And not only these, maybe there are some directories. Inside those subdirectories, there will be some other configuration files. Those may also be visible to you. But I do not say right now that all the files and configurations are available within this directory only. But yes, there may be some subdirectories. Inside those subdirectories, there may be some other file configurations available. Right? Are we clear with that?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes.
yes, the majority of configuration files will be found inside slash etc only, editable text configuration. Like you can read the configuration and you can modify based on your requirement. Are we clear?
Yes. So for an example, we have the yum command over there. So for that also, we just can make some configuration changes.
Vim etc yum.conf, whatever you want, you can modify it here.
For an example, I'm just installing any software. So by
Yes.
default, yes, I have to add. So
Yes.
okay.
So okay. After etc, there is one directory known as home. I hope that we all are very much aware of it. So
Yes, sir.
whenever we create any default user, so by default, every individual user is created inside home directory here. The user's default home directories are created here. Let us say if it is David, it is demo user, it is EC2, Natasha, Thomas. And obviously we removed a particular user known as Tom. So user Tom's ID is still available here, wherein user has already been deleted, but yes, ID exists. So what is use of slash home? So slash home is the default home directory of the users. Obviously, like root user has its own directory, but yes, all default users, like all normal users, have their home directory created inside slash home. Okay, let us go back. Now, what is lib?
Library.
Guys, any answer, guys?
It's library, right?
Okay, lib means libraries. Okay. So if we go here,
Library files, sir.
so whenever we install any software, so it does not provide you the functionality, but in order to make that software work, there are some libraries required in order to run the software, like grub. There are some libraries available here. Let us say we are talking about here like UDEV, we are talking about your sudoers, sys users, like different type of files are available. For example, if I go inside kernel, so these are kernel libraries which are required in order to make that work, right? So if we delete any of these, so definitely that system will not work. In the same way, guys, we have not on lib64 as well. Once again, same sort of softwares are going to be found here. And most of libraries contain like .so. This SO word will be found there. Like forget about the numbers written before or after, but yes, it is anticipated that most of libraries are going to have .so word mentioned in the particular file name. Are we clear with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But sir, what is the meaning SO? And why is there?
That will be your homework.
Okay, sir.
Because if I'm going to tell everything, then how will you revise it? But yes, if you are not able to get the answer over internet, then for sure I will help you there. Any question here?
Sir, can we check kernel name or etc OS release?
Pardon, come again.
Sir, can we check etc kernel name and kernel information etc OS release?
So OS release is particular type of file which stores the information, let us say /lib 64/os-release. So this is the information. Not only this, you can read this information multiple places, like etc OS-release. And within issue file, multiple files are there where you can get the information of this.
Sir, we can see this is a Linux 9.
Yes, this is RHL 9. Okay. Now what next? After that, we have media. So guys, keep this thing in mind. We have two type of OS, like either it is CLI, like command line interface, or it is GUI, like graphical user interface, right?
Yes, sir.
So when we are talking about CLI stands for command line interface. So if we are trying to mount a particular device into an operating system, I'll repeat that again. Mount means, for example, I have a pen drive, I inserted that into my laptop and I want to access that now. Now, if you see my laptop has GUI, like this is GUI, graphical user interface, I can click and I can perform whatever operation required, right? But if I do not have that GUI, I have only CLI, like there is a server where no GUI available, then how to access that media? So there are 2 points. First of all, it is media. If we have GUI enabled, like graphical user interface, if we have enabled, so in that particular case, our operating system will allow us to access that particular like pen drive via /media only. Like, let me show you something. As soon as you will plug the particular pen drive into your OS, then there will be an icon of that pen drive with some different letter or with some different name onto your desktop. Have you ever seen that happening?
Yes.
Yes. So by default, in the backend, that gets mounted onto /media location. But yes, if that thing is being performed with the help of CLI in CLI environment, command line interface environment, so that is being mounted with the help of your, what do I call it? /MNT. Right, guys?
Yes,
GUI
sir.
environment /media and CLI environment then /MNT.
MNT.
That what is the /OPT?
Optional.
So guys, let us say when we are working into production environment, so mostly it is seen that the particular files which are customizable, and let us say we are trying to run any kind of application inside that operating system. So what happens here? Most of these applications are usually found inside /OPT. For example, there is jar file, like Java application we want to run. So these applications will be utilized and will be found inside slash opt only. Then after slash proc is a virtual file system. Now the thing here is, what is virtual file system? So this is going to let you know the information about your operating system. And if you see, most of files have 0-bit size. Okay, let us say zone info. There is some data available in this file.
Yes, sir.
When there is some data available in this file, then why does it not show any kind of size? These files, okay, let me do one thing. Let us say cat vmstat, and I want to write the output of this file to slash temp. If you see, the size of this file is ll-h 3.4 KB. So if same information is, I'm trying to write the same information into slash temp, then it says the size of this file is 3.4 KB. But if you see it here, vmstat, this shows 0. Why it is so? Because proc is a virtual file system. It is utilizing the space from your memory itself.
Can you come again? What is this file system?
This is a virtual file system.
Virtual. Okay.
At the time of, let us say, whenever, whatever changes are happening in your operating system. For example, sometimes load is increasing, sometimes memory utilization is going high, going low. So this keeps on changing. This is dynamic data available. This keeps on checking the data from kernel in real time and keeps on updating here. So proc is a virtual file system. And ideally, there are very limited number of files which can be modified. And these things are only done by those who have very good understanding of this operating system and especially about the kernel parameters. Okay.
Incoming voice call from
Guys, just a moment.
91987.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for that. So when we are talking about this one, slash proc, then after, obviously, guys, we are aware of slash root. What is slash root? Yes, guys.
For the root user.
So this is the home directory for user.
Yes. Now, what is slash run? Yes, guys, what is slash run? Okay, try to understand what is slash run. Just read these files, that what these files mean, and then try to answer the question, what is slash run?
Sir, maybe relevant data
No.
to run process.
So files or directories which are running in our server, in our system, sir, like which are not closed or which are running in our operating systems.
It's not like that. Okay, let me explain. Otherwise, we will run out of time. So what happens? See, slash run is the particular directory which comes along with most of the distribution Linux operating system. This directory is utilized in order to store volatile runtime data since the system was rebooted last time. For example, if you want to read the stats about like, okay, how things are being performed this time. For example, if you see this particular file, cron.d.pid, right? Moreover, dhclient.pid, gssproxy.pid. Moreover, multiple PIDs you will be able to see here. So until and unless this system is running, so this particular directory is going to store the information about all the running processes, like its PID, when the system was started, who started the particular process, who owns this particular process. So every kind of information will be available within this. But only till the time system is starting, system is running. Once system reboots, so you will not be able to recall, or you will not be able to see the data. What were the stats available before reboot? So this is going to store all volatile information within this particular uptime session. Uptime session could be for, say, for 1 hour, for 1 day, for 1 week, for 1 month, for 1 year as well. So this particular directory/run is going to store the data of your operating system since the system is started. And this data will not be available after reboot. Are we clear with the? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Rakesh ji,
Sir, means
Yes.
it's like temporary data, sir.
pardon?
Like in run, there are only temporary data available, sir.
Yes. Not temporary. You can call it runtime data.
Okay, sir.
Since like my user, I'm my user and I just turn on my like system, and after that, what all the logs are created, it will be stored until unless I haven't booted my system. Is it like
Right. For example, try to understand. There is a particular service running known as Apache, or maybe Nginx, or maybe some other services are running, right?
Yeah.
What if the service is restarted and you want to know the stats of that particular service, like what was the PID of it when it was running last time? Run will not be able to let you know. But yes, if you want to know the PID of anything, for example, you want to know PID of anything which is in running mode, you will get to know about the PID of it. And that PID is stored somewhere or the other inside this particular directory only. So after run, we have sbin. So guys, this is as good as bin. So over here, all the commands which are supposed to be executed by admin only. Okay, let us see a couple of commands here, and we will try to run the command with the help of normal user. Okay.
admin means normal user won't be able to do anything.
Normal user would not be able to do this.
Okay, only admin.
Only the users who have either sudo privilege, which is known as admin,
Okay.
only those users will be able to run the command. Okay, let us say clock. I'm able to print the time.
Got it.
Same command I was able to execute with root user, but it is throwing some error. Let us say user add. Right? So whatsoever commands are available here within this particular directory, you will not be able to run any of the command as a normal user. So major difference between bin and sbin here is bin is a particular location and where multiple commands are stored, which can be executed by a normal user as well as by admin or super admin like root user, right? But if you see the commands which are stored here within this /sbin directory, so these commands can only be executed by a root user only, or by an admin user who has sudo access. Okay, now what next? After sbin, we have srv. Same thing like nothing is stored. This is just like opt and that the earlier folder which we have deleted today. Then after we have sys. Holds runtime data. not DC, that should be CD. Now, there are three main folders which are remaining. First of all, /temp. So guys, if you can recall it, that we have been utilizing /temp for multiple practicals. Like whenever we want to perform any practical, we want to create any file. So by default, we prefer to create it /temp because this is known as temporary location of files. For example, you want to keep file for some time, you can keep the files here inside /temp. Moreover, this folder is configured in such a way that all the files which are older than 30 days are deleted from here. All the files which are older than 30 days are removed from here automatically. You will not be able to find any file which is older than 30 days here. Moreover, obviously, when we will when we will move forward, we will see like where these particular settings are done and other things. We will be able to modify that. Okay, this should be for 60 days or this should be for 10 days only. But yes, by default, a Linux operating system comes with a predefined settings that all the files which are older than 30 days will be deleted from this particular directory. Now /usr, this is really important, guys. This and /var. So if you see here bin, then after lib64, libexec, sbin, so all the particular files which are available here, so you will be able to see like /bin, sbin, /usr sbin, /lib, usr lib, /bin, usr bin. So all the particular folders which are available here. So whenever you install any software, so binary files, library files, they are stored inside /usr only. This means this is a particular base location where your installed softwares are kept. Moreover, the documentation of these particular softwares are also stored here only. For example, you want to write your customized script and you want to utilize that as a command. You can store that here, usr local bin. You can write your customized command here, usr local bin, right?
Yes.
The final folder for today which we have. So guys, this is known as var, like variable. This does not have static data. Data keeps on changing here. Like cache, for example, like we have cache. If we run a command, okay, I'm running with David. You see the difference, guys, here. If I try to download anything here, it will be stored here within cache file. Like that, I may not need to download the same file once again from internet. Okay, if you see some other files are added here, right?
Yes.
Number of files are less now.
Yeah, after cleaning it. Yes.
These are volatile data. These are dynamic data basically. Now, if you want to see the logs, so all the system logs are available here. For example, you want to see the audit logs, btemp, like when user logged in, or like successful login, bad login, user provided a bad password. Then after here, you have wtemp, tuned, SSH, secure. So these are the particular log files. Gradually, when we will talk about like log management, and then we will read these particular logs in detailment. So are we clear with with Linux file system directory structure?
Yes.
Any questions so far?
Sir, these are the like directories which are available in every operating system, sir.
Yes.
So these are default directories.
Yes, these are default directories. Rest can be customized.
Okay, sir. Depend on our use case, it will vary, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
So I hope that we are clear for today. And
Sir,
within the session, so guys, I'll let you know about the next session for tomorrow morning itself. So if there will be class, I'll let you know. If there won't be, I'll say no, because tomorrow I have some other work. But I'll try to take the session tomorrow as well. And the topic will be disk management.
Okay.
Okay.
Any feedback for the session, guys?
great,
Yes,
sir,
sir. As
great.
usual, it's
Super.
very good, sir.
Okay, fine. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining in. And guys, it's a request. Please keep on practicing. Otherwise, it will become really difficult to understand the concept and to apply it in real world.
Okay, sir.
Sure, definitely.
Because after
Yes, sir.
completion of disk management, I'll let you know what sort of questions usually comes during interview.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so